What's up? And it's Loopy Savage Legs Media, and this is episode 2. So we're going to focus on the sprinters today, and it's going to be a doozy of a battle. We also, we had a little chat with AI and just bounced some thoughts off AI. I want to share that with you. But first, before we get started, please make sure you hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and share this with a friend. And yeah, let's get into it. So it's all about the green jersey. So this is your defender of the green jersey. His name is Biniam Girmay. If you do not know him, again, his name is Biniam Girmay. He is the first African to win a stage of Le Tour de France, and not just win a stage, he won 3 stages, and then he also won the green jersey, which he's going to try to defend this year. I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen like the results that builds, builds confidence in myself in backing Benny. But would I bet against him? No, I wouldn't bet against him. So and I think as well, because he's had that type of season where he just kept finishing second, so close the whole season, that it just might all come out at once at Le Tour de France, and everyone else might have to be recipient of like the fury that's going to be unleashed from Biniam Girmay, because he's been like, he just kept getting second and pipped at the line. So it's going to be something. So who are the people, who are the main players that he's got to contend against? So I think the biggest threat is this young man here. No, not sorry, Tim Miller. Tim Miller, he's going to be the biggest threat. He is on form. He's just been winning left, right, and center with the most ease on the stages that are completely flat. So stage 1 opens up. It's not flat. The billing it as a sprinter stage, but it has a bit of a like a bump in the middle. And then but there's enough time for the sprinters to get back on and do the thing. Stage 2, it's got a top finish. So I don't know what the finish looks like, if it's the type of finish where Benny's going to be able to stay. And they're saying that there's a couple other sprinters like saying Jonathan Miller. I don't think so. I think Benny is going to, the only person that may be close to him if climbing, if he has to, is going to be Jesper Philipsen. And if Benny wants to get a march on the green jersey, then he needs to do it on stage 2. Now, depending on what the finish looks like, if it's a really like proper mountainous finish and it doesn't like flatten out or plateau like some of the climbs, because I haven't really looked at the profile, so I can't give you like the full synopsis of what. But and then on stage 3, it's a very similar stage again. Let me put the stage up so you can see. So here are the stages. So stage 3, it's going to be a similar stage to stage 1, where there's a big bump in the middle. They get over that, and the same thing on stage 4. So it's going to, those first stages 1, 2, and 3, 3, and 4 are going to be hard fought after. Then it's the time trial. Then you're going to be, some hilly stages. Yeah, it's all to play for. So the stages are hard. They're not just like flat. The real flat stages don't come until like stages 8 and 9, and by then the pure, like the really fast guys that really high output, like Muller and Milan, some of that speed's going to be tapered off, because by day 12, and that's what I think Benny's going to come into soon, and that's when he's going to start racking up points. And then you also got the big mountain stages they got to get through. So when you get to stages 12, 13, and 14, they got to get through those big mountain stages. When they say it looks pretty flat as well after the rest day. So that should be interesting. Stage 17 is another absolute flat day. And then obviously the last stage in the Champs-Élysées. So that's the stages that we're looking at. So let's look at who your sprinters are. Now we're going to have a word of AI. So I showed you Jonathan Milan already, and Tim Miller. And you got Jesper Philipsen. Jesper Philipsen. He's hit and miss. The guy is fast, but long as like he has Matthew Van Der Poel on point for him, leading him out, he's going to be a hard man to beat. And then you have Dylan Groenewegen. Like he's fast, but he has to get into the right position. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not going to say much about Dylan Groenewegen. Fernando Gaviria. This man at one point had the speed of Tim Miller. What has happened, I do not know, and we will see if he can, at least even get a stage or come close. But I'm like he's always doing the racking, and I'm pretty sure he'll get on the podium in one of the stages. Phil Barhaus. Phil Barhaus is just one of those opportunist top riders. He's always there. and he hasn't had that big stage Tour de France stage win for quite some time. So we will see, but he can produce the goods. And then there is Arnold the Lee. Big question marks on Arnold the Lee because his season has been up and down. Riding good 1 minute and then out the next minute. And then you have George Bennett. So George Bennett, we'll see. So I'm not gonna cast anything on anybody, but we will see. But like I said, the man who's going to have to do it all is Biniam Girmay. And then I had a little, and I need to put the headphones on so I can make sure I can hear. But I had a little talk with my AI, and talk to AI, and let's see what AI thinks, and I'm going to see if I can have a conversation with the AI. So first, let's bring in AI, and
Biniam Girmay's
so he's going to like start off like what he thinks Biniam Girmay's changes are at
Tour de France. It accurately reflects his strengths and the challenges he faces. Here's an updated perspective based on the current context. July.
So like we're doing he's going to, so the AI is going to give you his perspective on like what he thinks Biniam can do. I'm trying to set it up. So let's get into this. Sorry. So we're gonna the building on his performance. So we wanted to know from AI, like building on his performance, analyzing how can he defend the green, and and see what he says compared to what I said, how he can score points and like intermediate sprints and point 4 and 5, team support, and then his biggest threats, and then also the verdict. So let's jump into AI. Sorry about that. Let's jump into AI and let's hear what AI has to say.
July 1st, 2025, and some additional insights. Confirmation of Girmay's green jersey bid for 2025. Your assessment is spot on. Recent news confirms that Biniam Girmay, Intermarché Wanty, is indeed targeting the green jersey at the 2025 Tour de France.
Apologies, it's Girmay, but it's AI.
And his team is building a sprint train around him. He is the reigning points classification winner from the 2024.
That's going to be a big deal. The team building that sprinter on him. They build that sprinter on him, and then they do what they need to do. I think he's going to have a good Tour de France.
Tour, which gives him a strong starting position and confidence. Building on his 2024 performance, you rightly highlighted his historic stage wins at the Giro 2022 and Tour 2024.
No, I didn't highlight that, but then yeah, those were big important moments, like him winning stages, and then he also got the year wrong. It was in 2022. But go ahead.
In fact, in the 2024 Tour de France, Girmay not only won a stage 3, but went on to secure a hat trick of stage wins, stages 3, 8, and 12.
2024, meant to say.
And ultimately won the green jersey, as you alluded to. This is crucial context for his 2025 prospects, as he has proven he can deliver consistently over a 3-week Grand Tour. Analyzing how could he defend green. 1. Win flat stages. This remains paramount. While he won the green jersey in 2024, the competition from pure sprinters will always be fierce. Your listed threats, Philipsen, Jakobsen, Groenewegen, are accurate, with Jasper Philipsen being his most direct rival as the 2023 green jersey winner and runner-up to Girmay in 2024.
I don't think Philipsen's going to be the biggest threat for the green jersey. I think his biggest threat's going to come from Tim Miller and Jonathan Milan. Those are going to be the biggest threats.
Tim Merlier and Jonathan Milan are also being touted as strong pure sprinters for 2025, with Milan showing strong climbing resistance in warm-up races like the Dauphiné, making him a potential Girmay-esque threat. 2. Score in hilly stages.
I don't think Jonathan's a good climber. We saw him get dropped quite a few times in the Dauphiné, so I think that's incorrect. So yeah, you got that wrong. But I don't think on the climbs, it's the stages of the climbs, and that's where all the other sprinters can hurt Jonathan.
This is Girmay's distinct advantage. His ability to get over short, sharp climbs and still contest reduced bunch sprints or even breakaway finishes sets him apart from many pure sprinters. This versatility was key to his 2024 success. 3. Intermediate sprints. Absolutely vital. These points add up, especially on stages where the main sprint contenders might not be in a position to fight for the win. Girmay's team will be keenly aware of these opportunities.
So basically, like the stages that have a lot of climbing in them, like the a lot of the sprint bonus points come after some of the climbs. So once on those days, if Benny can get over the climbs, and I know he will, he's probably been working on that, and I think he knows that he has to have that in his arsenal. So he's got to get over some of these climbs, and you're probably looking at like stages like 11, 13, and 14, depending on how hard the climbs are. 16, 18, 19. Like if he can get over the climbs and get rid of all the other sprinters, he can rack up some points. It's going to be a good competition.
4. Avoid bad days. This is the unpredictable element of Grand Tour racing. Crashes, illness, or simply an off day can derail a green jersey campaign quickly. His team will need to protect him well. 5. Team support. Intermarché Wanty has shown they can provide excellent support. They've explicitly stated they are building their 2025 Tour team around Girmay for stage victories and sprint finishes, and have brought in riders like Jonas Rutsch, Lawrence Rex, Hugo Page, Vito Breat, and Roel van Sint Martensdijk to bolster his let out. Big
So I have a little bit to say about his lead out. They have some work to do. They had that one stage where the lead out was spot on, but they need to work a little harder at getting that lead out. Just working because it's not as an oiled machine as some of the other teams. Like little track have a really good lead out. Alpecin have a really good lead out, but if Intermarché, because you're gonna find Binny's often getting left up at the front on its own to do his thing, and it's not good, man. So that's something that they need to work on. If they work on that, they get that together, like teams like Little Track and Alpecin, then yeah, Benny's in for it's just going to make his chance even more stronger.
threats revisited. Jasper Philipsen, Alpecin de Soninck, still the primary rival. He's also
No,
confirmed for the tour and will be looking to reclaim the jersey. Their
no, he's not.
rivalry in 2024 was a key storyline in the sprint stages. Van
Sorry, he's not the number one rival. I don't think so.
Aert, Visma Lisa Bike, always a wild card. If he fully commits to the green jersey, he's arguably the most.
Sorry, he mentioned Walt Van Aert. He's talking about Walt Van Aert. So when he said Visma Lisa, I'm probably sure you knew who he was, but Walt Van Aert is who he's talking about right now.
Versatile rider in the peloton. However, his team's focus on the general classification with Jonas Vingegaard, and potentially others, might mean he's deployed in a more supportive role, as he was in parts of the 2024 Tour, though he still managed a stage win in 2021 and the green jersey in 2022. His 2024 Tour results were less prominent in the sprints compared to Girmay and Philipsen. Recent reports suggest Visma Lisa Bike is still focused on the GC with Vingegaard, and Van Aert's preparation included significant training for climbing. This could impact his full dedication to green. Tim.
Yep, most definitely. So we will see how Visma is going to do this thing, because at some point it's almost like Walt Van Aert gets a free to roam type card to play in, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes. So he usually just gets let off the leash and he gets to do what he wants to do. So Tim Miller.
Earlier, Soudal Quickstep, a pure sprinter with multiple wins in 2025. If he can survive the mountains, he's a serious contender for flat stages. His ability to position himself without a full dedicated let-out train could be an asset. Jonathan Milan, Little Trek. As noted, he's making his tour debut and has already shown incredible sprinting prowess and improved climbing ability, making him a dark horse for the green jersey. Verdict revisited. Your verdict remains highly pertinent. Girmay's ability to defend the green jersey hinges on consistent wins/high placements on flat days. He doesn't need to win every sprint, but he needs to be consistently in the top few to accumulate points,
Most
capitalizing
definitely.
on hilly stages. This is where he can gain crucial points over pure sprinters who get dropped. His 2024
Yep.
Tour stage wins in varied terrain underscore this. Avoiding bad luck, a crash or illness can end any jersey aspirations. Given he won the green jersey in 2024, Biniam Girmay has not just a real shot, but is arguably the favorite to defend it. He's
Yep.
proven he has the resilience, the speed, and the team support.
So let's see if he can.
Performance in 2024, where he secured 3 stage wins in the green jersey, Biniam Girmay has cemented himself as a top contender. The experience of winning it once will be invaluable, and his team's commitment to his sprint ambitions further strengthens his chances. It won't be easy with riders like Philipsen, Pedersen, Merlier, and Milan vying for the same prize, but Girmay has the all-around skill set to pull it off again.
So that's our little interaction with AI and what AI thinks. I just thought it would be interesting just to bring in something, just a little bit different. But anyway, this has been Innis Sleepy Say with Your Legs Media. That's our look at the sprinters, and that's our look at our man Biniam Girmay and what work he has ahead of him for this year's Le Tour de France. I think he can do it. I think it's going to be tough, but I think he can do it. I think he can do it. Um, I'm only a little bit there are little small doubts in my mind because he hasn't gotten the results that he has gotten in the past. He's done some racing, but I don't think he's done as much racing as he normally has. But we will see. The Tour de France just lights up everybody. It just puts a next level battery in everyone's back. And we will see what's going to happen with this year's Tour de France. Zinus Luby, Say Rich Legs Media. I appreciate you. I hope you like the new intro. I forgot to put the intro on the first video, episode 1, but it's on this one. I hope you like that. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. And we will see you tomorrow with episode 3. And I'm going to talk to you about a couple people who I think are going to, they're not going to be contenders for the tour, but they'll light it up and probably win a stage or two. So let's get into it, and we'll see you tomorrow. And it's Luby Say with Your Legs Media. Once again, thank you for tuning in.